the Catholic Syro-Malabar Eparchy of Great Britain. Today we are going to bring you another saint of the Catholic Church. As you all know, the structure of this program is like this. We will be presenting the life of a saint in the Catholic Church, and there will be 5 questions asked which you need to send in the answers to us. In the last few weeks, we are getting tremendous response from a lot of people, and you have been sending the correct answers. But unfortunately, the first respondent with all the correct answers get the prize. And as we announced earlier, if you have sent correct answers consecutively for the first 10 episodes, you can claim to be included into a lot where, if you're lucky, you will get a prize. The last week's questions and answers were: I know you are waiting to know who the winner was for last week.
Hi, my name is Abel Ikara, and I'm from the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Mission, Stoke-on-Trent. The Salt of the Earth program is a very informative and interesting way to learn about the lives of saints. I found this program very educative and enjoyable, and so I would like to thank the Media Commission and its organisers for creating such a wonderful opportunity for us to learn about the lives of saints. Thank you.
You know the format to send in the correct answers. The format is now showing on the screen, as you can see. Answer number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your name and the name of your mission. And the number to send the correct answer via WhatsApp is also showing here on the screen. Now it is time for us to listen to the life of a Catholic saint.
Welcome to the Salt of the Earth, the brand new episode, and today we're talking about St Augustine of Hippo. St Augustine of Hippo, whose writings influenced the development of Western philosophy and Western Christianity, and he is viewed as one of the most important church fathers of the Latin Church. St Augustine was born on 13th November 34 AD in Tascete, which is modern-day Algeria. His mother Monica, who later became Saint Monica, was a devout Christian. His father Patricius was a pagan who converted to Christianity on his deathbed. St Augustine is a patron of brewers because of his conversion from a former life of loose living, which included parties, entertainment, and worldly ambitions. His complete turnaround and conversion has been an inspiration to many who struggle with a particular habit they long to break. Even though he was a very intelligent man and thought he had been brought up as a Christian, his sins of impurity and his pride darkened his mind so much that he could not see or understand the divine truth anymore. His first insight into the nature of sin occurred when he and a number of friends stole fruits they did not want from a neighbor's garden. He tells the story in his autobiography, The Confessions. He remembers he stole the fruit not because he was hungry or he wanted it, but because it was not permitted. Through the prayers of his Holy Mother and marvelous preaching of St Ambrose, Augustine finally became convinced that Christianity was the truth. Yet he did not become a Christian then, because he thought he would never live a pure life. One day, however, he heard about 2 men who were suddenly being converted on reading the life of St Anthony, and he felt terribly ashamed of himself. "What are we doing?" he cried to his friend. "Unlearned people are taking heaven by force, while we, with all our knowledge, are so cowardly that we keep rolling around in the mud of our sins." Full of bitter sorrow, Augustine flew himself out into the garden and cried out to God, "How long more, O Lord? Why does not this hour put an end to my sin?" Just that he heard a child singing, "Take up and read." thinking that God intended him to hear those words, he picked up the book of the letters of St. Paul and read the first passage his gaze fell on. This was just what Augustine needed, and St. Paul says to put away all the impurity and to live in imitation of Christ. From then on, Augustine became a new person, a new life. He was baptized, became a priest, a bishop, a famous Catholic writer, founder of Religious Priest, and one of the greatest saints that ever lived. He became very devout and charitable too. On the wall of his room, he held the following sentence written in large letters: "Here we do not speak evil of anyone." Saint Augustine overcame strong heresies, practiced great poverty, and supported the poor, preached very often, and prayed with great fire right up until his death. "Too late have I loved you," he once cried to God. But with his holy life, he certainly made up for the sins he committed before his conversion. He wrote many books, which includes The City of God, on Christian doctrine and confessions. He wrote extensively about various areas within the Christian theologies, and here are a few topics. Original sin. Augustine taught that sin of Adam and Eve was either an act of foolishness followed by pride and disobedience to God, or that pride came first. The first couple disobeyed God, who had told them not to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, mentioned in Genesis 2:17. The tree was a symbol of the order of creation. Self-centeredness made Adam and Eve eat, thus failing to acknowledge and respect the world as it was created by God, with its hierarchy of beings and values. In sacramental theology, Augustine upheld early Christian understanding of the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist, saying that Christ's statement, "This is my body," referred to the bread he carried in his hands, and that Christians must have faith the bread and wine are in fact the body and blood of Christ. Despite what they see with their eyes regarding free will, he often said that anyone can be saved if they wish, while God knows who will and won't be saved. Augustine led many clergy under his authority at Hippo to free their slaves as an act of pity. He boldly wrote a letter urging the emperor at the time to set up a new law against slave traders, and very much concerned about the sale of children. In his book, The City of God, he presents the development of slavery as a product of sin and as contrary to God's divine plan. For Augustine, the evil of sexual immortality was not in the sexual act itself, but in the emotions that typically accompany it. In Christian doctrine, Augustine contrasts love, which is enjoyment on account of God, and lust, which is not on account of God. Catholic theologians generally subscribes to Augustine's belief that God exists outside of time in the eternal present, that time only exists within the created universe, because only in space is time perceived through motion and change. In his biographical book, Milestones, Pope Benedict XVI claims Augustine as one of the deepest influences in his thought. His feast is August the 28th. He is considered the patron saint of brewers, painters, theologians, and a number of cities and dioceses. That's St. Augustine of Hippo for us. Now let's have a look at the mystery box to see what we have here. Here we have a little Bible, but more than the fact that it is our Holy Bible, we have it here to represent the scholarly approach that Augustine had in his life in understanding Christian theology, in understanding Christ through the book.
Now we have the question time. Let us listen to the questions.
Question number 1. What was St. Augustine of Hippo's mother's name? Question number 2. Where was St. Augustine of Hippo born? Question number 3. Who was singing Take Up and Read, which inspired St. Augustine to pick up the book of the letters of St. Paul and read? Next question. Name any book written by St. Augustine mentioned in this program. Next question. When do we celebrate the feast of St. Augustine of Hippo?
We hope all of you are enjoying this show, and in the next episodes we will bring you another saint of the Catholic Church. Till then, goodbye. May God bless you all.